Hey everyone! Today we're diving into something that might intrigue you, the strange world of Chernobyl and its so-called monsters. You may have heard wild stories about mutated creatures lurking in the shadows of the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Today, we're unpacking the folklore surrounding these creatures, the real reports of bizarre wildlife, and what happens to nature when it faces such an extreme disaster. First, let's rewind to 1986 for a moment. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant, located in Ukraine, faced a catastrophic explosion that changed everything. When the reactor went critical, it released a massive amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere. Because of this, the surrounding areas had to be evacuated, and the establishment of the exclusion zone left a ghost town behind. It's astonishing to think that in just a few hours, people fled their homes, never to return. So what happened to the wildlife in those abandoned areas over the years? Spoiler alert, it's kind of amazing. Now, you might be wondering how radiation affects living beings. When organisms are exposed to high levels of radiation, their DNA can end up getting messed up, which can lead to mutations. Some might think of crazy sci-fi movies with enormous monsters, but in reality, mutations can appear as weird growths or unusual colors. Scientists have been monitoring this for years, studying how radiation has affected the plants and animals in Chernobyl. While it sounds scary, many creatures have adapted rather surprisingly to their new environment in the absence of humans. Okay, let's switch gears to something a little spookier. You've probably heard about legends that have grown around Chernobyl like vines in an abandoned house. One of the most famous is the story of the Chernobyl wolf. Legend has it that these wolves have transformed into larger, more aggressive creatures, prowling through the exclusion zone. Then there's the infamous screaming tree, which local legends say emits eerie sounds at night. These tales have captivated imaginations and turned Chernobyl into a bit of an urban legend, piquing interest from thrill seekers and tourists alike. It's wild how myths can blossom in places abandoned by humans. Let's take a look at some actual wildlife that we know about. Scientists have observed various species in Chernobyl exhibiting unusual traits. Picture this: frogs that display a third eye, or birds that might have extra toes. One astonishing thing is how some animal populations like wolves and wild boars have actually exploded in numbers. These creatures seem to live carefree lives in areas that were once bustling with human activity. In fact, studies have even noted larger sizes among some animals, which has baffled scientists. It's almost like nature is taking the opportunity to thrive without the interference of humankind. This gives us a peek into how resilient life can be, even in the face of adversity. Now, how do we know all this? Researchers have flocked to Chernobyl over the years, drawn by the unique ecosystem that has developed in the exclusion zone. Various studies have examined animals in the area, focusing on everything from mutation rates to adaptations. For example, some research shows that while species like birds have higher mutation rates, they're finding ways to survive and even thrive. Isn't that incredible? This once dangerous territory has turned into a living laboratory, showcasing how adaptable wildlife can be. So, what's the takeaway here? Chernobyl might sound like a scene out of a monster movie, but the reality is much more nuanced. Instead of terrifying monsters roaming the land, we find a unique ecosystem where nature has found a way to bounce back. It's a testimony to resilience, showing us that even after catastrophe, life can persist in surprising ways. And while the folklore surrounding Chernobyl continues to fascinate, the truth is equally compelling. Thanks for hanging out with me today and exploring the fascinating world of Chernobyl. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, leave a comment sharing your thoughts or experiences, and don't forget to subscribe for more adventures into the strange and unexplained. See you next time.